record, but it's much different than making compromises in a band. In a band, you can be outvoted completely. In your own solo thing, if you really want to fight for something, you know, like if you're fighting with, say, your producer or your record president or the people that are playing on the record or the people that are singing on the record, or if you're having some sort of an argument with them, you can basically at the end pull a shade and say, this is my record, this is what I want. Whereas when you're in a band, you can't do that. It's an adjustment. That's what it is. It's just it is like being in a family with a bunch of children and then all of a sudden just being one child. Well, being in a band, I mean, I guess you could compare it with being in a crew. You know, a whole crew that is a team. And then when it's just you, it eventually does come down to you being asked the final questions and making the final decisions, which I'm not really crazy about doing. So I like to kind of have somebody to say, well, it was kind of their fault too, you know. Or, I mean, if I get all the credit and it's really good, that's great. But you can't always plan on getting all the credit because it was great, because maybe all of it isn't great. And so then, you know, it's a lot easier when you have 4 or 5 other people to say, well, you know, I mean, I was only 1/5, 4th, 6th of that. You can talk to me. You can talk to me. When you're down now, you can talk to me. Talk to me.
How does The Other Side of the Mirror differ from your previous solo albums?
They're all very different. Belladonna's, you know, Belladonna was scared. Belladonna was branching out on a whole new thing by herself. Again, leaving a band to do a solo record is scary, because what if it doesn't work? The wonderful thing about Belladonna was that I had a lot of support, and a lot of people that were saying this is the right thing to do. This is not, you're not letting anybody down. You're not leaving people. You need an outlet. You write too much. You have too much stuff. The Wild Heart was much more fragmented and not quite sure where I should be, which means blame it on your wild heart. You know, it's like, it's not my fault I jumped out the window. I mean, that's my wild heart. Rock a Little was more, I wanted Rock a Little to be more of a slower kind of a testimonial to those other 2 records, to see where I was then and where I was when I did, say, Belladonna. And this record, yeah, I've grown up. So this record is very serious, even though the music is very lilting and it's up and it's really pretty. But if you listen to the words, seriously listen to the words, it's very serious.
How did you come up with the title, The Other Side of the Mirror, for this album?
Well, The Other Side of the Mirror came from, first it was going to be Mirror, Mirror. That was going to be the name of Rock a Little. And then because the song Mirror, Mirror didn't end up going on the record because I didn't like the way that it came out, I changed it to Rock a Little because Rock a Little became the lead song. So this record sort of was a little bit of an extension of that, of Mirror, Mirror is the other side of the mirror. And the Gemini personality, the 2, you know, well, the 9 or 10 personalities that I have, and how I deal with all of them. And there's a song on the record called Alice, and it says, you know, get out, you're growing up and you're going to break our room, you know, and you're destroying us all. And she says, all right, I'm going back to the other side of the mirror. Period. And I'm not pleased, but I'm leaving. And so it's 2 places to be on either side.